We say the same thing every year. This year will be my year. But why would it be any different from last year? Or the year before that? As footballers, we're always aiming to improve and always aiming to reach the next level and get closer and closer to realizing our football dreams. But if we don't have any plans whatsoever on how we're going to achieve those dreams, how are we actually going to get there? We could just pray and hope that our hard work takes us to where we want to go. But what happens when that newfound motivation starts to fade? What happens when you don't see the results that you expected? Unfortunately, most players give up. They have an average season and then that cycle continues the next year and the year after that. Believe me when I say I've been there myself plenty of times throughout my career. But the thing is, you and I, we don't have to be that player. You have clicked on this video with the hope that today that could change, and I promise you it will. I will provide you with all the tools you need to make sure that, first of all, you're heading in the right direction. Secondly, you will know that you're doing everything you can to reach your dreams. And thirdly, and most importantly, you will have a system in place to fall back on once your motivation starts to fade or the results doesn't come. Which will happen, but you will be prepared. Because now, during the last days of 2024, I will release the biggest videos that I have created so far, packed with everything you need to head into 2025 with a complete plan that will finally allow you to turn your football dreams into reality. However, let me tell you straight away, only the players who watches all the videos will be able to make their football dreams come true. Let me tell you why. Because in each video I will release, starting today, I will explain a framework that's part of a bigger picture. Today I will explain the 3R framework, containing 3 different exercises for us to reflect, recognize, and refocus, hence the name 3R framework. In the next video I'll go through the 3P framework, standing for prepare, plan, and perform. And in the third video I'll go through the 3C framework, where we'll focus on challenge, commit, and finally conquer. In total, that results in 9 different exercises once you have watched all 3 videos. And when you have completed all 9 exercises, you will be set up to head into 2025 with a plan that you can trust. Don't worry, I'll be here every step of the way. I will guide you through the exercises, and together we'll make sure that you're ready to become the best player that you can possibly be in 2025. If you're ready, then let's begin. The 3R framework. Reflect. In the description down below, there will be a link to a folder where you will find all the exercises from the 3R framework that we will do in this video. From that folder, you can then download the files and even print them out if you have the opportunity to. Otherwise, you just take some blank pieces of paper and copy exactly what I do. So what we'll do first is we'll go back and reflect on the year that has just passed. This is an important step that we often tend to miss because we're always looking towards the future and towards that next big thing. But by answering these 3 questions in the first exercise, we'll have a much better idea of what we actually have done well in the past year, what has been holding us back, and what we have learned about ourselves as players and as people. Then we can use those answers to head into 2025 knowing ourselves better, what works for us and what doesn't. First, make sure to fill in your name and date at the top, and then we can head into the first question. What were your 3 biggest accomplishments this year? You can structure it however you want to, you can rank them if you want to, or you can write them down in point form. And if you want to write more than 3, that's perfectly okay as well. To give you my examples, I wrote, sign with my first agency. I was a key player in my team for a big part of the 2024 season, where I also scored the best goal of my career so far. And I won the 2024 Sports Grant of the Year award from my hometown where I grew up, which was a big honor. The idea with these questions is for you to really think about what you have achieved. Even if at first you think that I have achieved nothing, after a while you will remember something that you felt proud of at that moment in time. It can be as simple as scoring a great goal, or just performing a great action out on the field, or that you were just very consistent with your training in 2024. Then for the next question, your goal is to think about what held you back the most in 2024. And the absolute best thing that you can do here is to be honest, even if it hurts. Because it's usually the thing that hurts us the most that we need to improve the most. This is what I wrote. I try to take on too many things at once in my life, resulting in poor lifestyle habits that put me on a path of injuries and sickness. This made me lose momentum and consistency in my football career. I performed worse and worse, and That led to a lot of time spent on the bench instead of being out on the pitch. This shows me in black and white what my biggest issues in 2024 was. And now, since I'm aware of the challenges I faced this year, I can easier set myself up to not arrive in the same place in 2025. The third and final question is, what did you learn about yourself as a player and as a person? Try to find at least one thing you have learned, even if it means you have to think for a while. One thing I learned about myself was that while I like football, I am obsessed with success, with progress, and with improvement. And that is something that I can take with me going forward now that I know myself a bit better than I did the previous year. Once you have answered these 3 questions, you should have a much better idea on what things you can take with you from 2024 to make even better decisions in your life and football career for 2025. And now, since we have gotten to know ourselves better as people, now it's also time to get to learn ourselves better as footballers. The 3R framework. Recognize. As we head into the second R of the 3R framework, it's now time to head into one of the favorite exercises on my channel, which is the football wheel. If this is the first time that you hear about the football wheel, I'll quickly explain it for you, and if you already know what it is, you can dive straight in. Because the best thing about the football wheel is that it will always be subject to change. In one of my most popular videos, How to Become a Pro Footballer Starting from Zero, I included the football wheel, and if you took part in that video, which was a good 4 to 5 months ago, now's the perfect time to make a new version of the football wheel and see if you've improved from the previous time. So, in this exercise you will meet 6 different circles, 1 big in the middle and 5 smaller circles around the big one. The middle one is split into 5 parts that represent the 5 key pillars of football: technical, physical, tactical, mental, and lifestyle. Your job is then to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is the highest and 1 is the lowest. Take your time here, pause the video if you need to, and once you have a rating for all 5 key pillars, you can come back. The next step is then to look for our lowest and highest rating out of these 5 key pillars. In this example, my lowest rating is found in the physical area of the game, and the highest is found in the technical and mental. Now I will look towards the smaller circles, where we have taken each respective key pillar and broken them down into smaller pieces. First, I will look towards the physical and the technical/mental pillars, because these include my biggest areas of improvement and my biggest strengths at this moment in time. Now you will start to rate yourself within the smaller circles, which holds the different categories within these key pillars. Once again, between the scale of 1 to 10. Once you're done with that, have a look at your 2 highest scores together with your lowest scores for these key pillars. For me, we can locate my highest scores in dribbling and first touch in the technical area, and agility and speed in the physical. These are my strengths or my player-defining qualities. If we instead locate my lowest scores, we can find passing in the technical area and strength in the physical. These are my areas of improvement. What you have done in this exercise is to break down your biggest areas of improvement and your biggest strengths as a player, and because of this, you now have a good idea on the weaknesses you need to work more on and the strengths you need to keep on refining as we head into 2025. We have now reflected on the past and we have recognized where our qualities lies as footballers in the present moment, but now it's time to switch our focus to the future and to 2025. Refocus. In the final exercise of the 3R framework, we have the refocus exercise. This is a simple but very powerful exercise if you really take your time with it. In this one, we will set goals for the upcoming year, and we will do so by splitting those goals up into short-term goals, which is within the next 3 months, mid-term goals, which is within the next 6 months, and long-term goals, what we want to have achieved in 12 months' time at the end of 2025. There's 2 primary reasons for doing this. The first one is by writing our goals down, we make it easier to remember what we're training and what we're fighting for every day. And by connecting our goals to a specific time frame, it makes it both a lot more motivating to chase them, but also easier to see if you actually achieve them than if you have just kept them in your head. Now you will get to learn some things about my future that I haven't revealed yet, but which I will do very shortly. Because of this, in my short-term goals, I wrote, take advantage of a time without team football to fully focus on building myself up physically, mentally, tactically, and technically. If you know what this means, you know. Heading into the midterm goals, which is around 6 months, we'll be approaching the summer, And that will be an incredibly exciting period here on the channel, so if you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend you do so to not miss out on anything. For the midterm goals, my goal is to get ready physically and mentally to go on trials for different teams in Europe. Then for my long-term goals, I want to have joined a team in Europe, I want to have adapted to a new culture, a new language, and a new life situation. What this does is that it shows me the path that I can walk down in 2025. A path that motivates me and a path that I want to chase with all I got. Together, the 3 exercises in the 3R framework have allowed us to reflect on the past and on 2024 and what we have learned during the year. We have recognized our biggest strengths and our biggest areas of improvement as footballers in the football wheel. And finally, we have found our football path for 2025 by refocusing towards the future. But this is only the beginning. The next video coming up on the channel will be a direct continuation of this one. And in that one, we will go through the next 3 exercises from the 3P framework, focused on preparing, planning, and performing. I'm telling you, this year is your time to shine, and by coming back here when the next video drops, you give yourself the best possible chances of success. Also, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I want you to comment the word path together with one of the goals that you have set for 2025, so I know which players are actually taking their development seriously. But that's it for today. Take care, and I'll see you again in just a few days. Bye.